Let us continue. So here we are moving into this week's sessions, which is week 5, which we discuss about the different types of software. So we have major two classifications of software. One is the system software, and the second one is the application software. And we can see over here the definition is for system software, it is designed to run the hardware, right? It is designed to run the hardware and provide a platform for other software. Okay, why is it the apps over here? Because after Windows, I think Windows 10 above, we got Microsoft Store, and then they call it the apps application, all right, to work. So basically, system software is like a kind of software, all right, that is designed to run the hardware, right, and provide platform for other software to work. Basically, it works, all right. This system software, right, usually it works on the background. It means it doesn't interfere, or it doesn't come up to the main screen. It will actually run in the background. So example of system software is definitely one of it falls under the OS itself. OS itself is a software. It's not a software. It's a system, right? It's a system, operating system, right? Operating system that actually mediates between the hardware, right? Designed to run the hardware and provide other software to work. It actually falls inside this group, all right? And there is actually other example of system software. The first one over here, of course, is actually the device driver. All right, device driver is an example of the system software. Okay. What is a device driver? Nowadays, when we talk about device driver, we don't really care that much, because we have the hardware. When we plug into the system, automatically the operating system, all right, which is one of the system software, not one of the main of the system software, right? The operating system itself will actually auto detects the hardware, and they will have this device driver, which automatically download the driver that needed for the hardware to use it, all right? So it's actually it's a kind of a software that allows the user or the specific program, all right, because this one still is like a, remember here's like providing a platform for other software, right? So a device driver is a specialized program that allows the operating system, right, to communicate effectively with the specific hardware component. All right, this is communication. All right, you want to allow this. Basically, over here is the OS. All right, of course, over here is us, the user. Go through OS, communicate through this device driver, and then it goes to the output lah, alright, or output or input lah, alright, input or output devices. Alright, then These are one of the example of a system software that allows you to run or actually carry out the instructions. All right, so it acts as a translator. Right, it's basically because it's basically something like this. Right, you have some information that you want to input into the system, then this device driver will change it into a simpler form of a language so that it can instruct the hardware to perform according to what you want. All right, over here is the role of device driver. Specifically, it gives the instruction. All right, as over here you can see. It's just translate, communicate instructions. All right, from the OS where other software on top of the OS running on the system, then it will translate and then will instruct the other parts of the hardware instructions in terms of specific signal. All right, then we have this it allows the plug and play function, so it will automatically detect the it will automatically detect the specific driver to install. Then you also provide a software based control. So this one is something like certain application. Later we'll look at another type of software, which is the application software. So certain application software allows you to adjust, for example, the sound. All right, the sound. So you can change it from normal without the equalizer, and then with the equalizer, which you can increase the bass. And then certain application software allows you to change the brightness of your monitor. So how it actually goes about this is we have the device driver, which have the driver inside the system, and this is a system software, and its role is to allow the software based control. All right, long story short is that it allows you to this device driver allows other software to communicate to the hardware. All right, it actually falls back to the main role over here. And all right, of course over here we got the different types of devices, different type of device driver. We got the printer, display, we got the input, and the network driver. Accordingly, you can just check from the notes that I share for detailed explanation. So next we move on to these utility programs. All right, later we will see. All right, we will talk about in detail on this, specifically on the security part. All right, how do you ensure security in your computer? But before we deep dive into that, we look at the utility program over here. We can see over here, of course, the main purpose of the utility program is to help. Number one over here is to monitor. Number two over here is to maintain. And number three over here is to optimize. What? Monitor, maintain, and optimize, of course, the computer performance. That's why we call utility programs. they falls, alright, this programs actually falls under this system software. It actually helps you to protect the system integrity, manage the resources, and preventing data losses. We got different example. If you can look through from the notes, we got a disk cleanup. Basically, these are all programs that is inside your operating system. So when you log into your computer, you will find yourself with these different utility programs which allows you to monitor, maintain, and optimize the computer performance. And one of it is the disk cleanup. Alright, if you go to disk cleanup, you can actually clean up the temporary files. I don't know if you did that before. Last time, when the computer is not that advanced or modern, I used to always from day to day do the disk cleanup just to make sure that the computer are free. There's a free memory space so that I can have more things to be stored, right? And of course, one of the utility programs that I used to use is the defragmenters. Alright, this defragmenter is also one of the most interesting utility programs. I used to use it a lot of times because if you what you say, this is like a fragment, right? You try to defragment your computer, you try to defragment your storage, then it will allow your data to be transfer faster. And I used to do that. Like I used to schedule the defragment of this hard disk from I think weekly schedule. But nowadays I don't even care about this thing because the computer is, I think we already reached up to a stage where these utility programs actually just run in the background and you don't really take care of it anymore, right? You don't really check, like always go into your computer and always do this cleanup or this defragment, because you don't really do that much anymore. In fact, last time I actually activate the task manager, the Windows task manager, to monitor which part or which program I'm using, which use up a lot of memories, all right, the RAM. And I try to kill those programs, right? Or we call it the end task, right? We used to end task all the program that is what I thought irrelevant. But at the end, when you end task wrong program, you will stop the whole computer. Not really, but it's very interesting. You can try and do it by yourself. You open up the Windows Task Manager by clicking Control Shift Delete, right? And or Control Alternate and Delete. Then you can activate straight away with Control Shift and Exit. You hold Control Shift and Exit, then you will prompt up with the Task Manager. Then you can try to end the task on the Windows Explorer. You will see your computer stop for a while, just for fun, right? Don't do that. It might be long. Your computer might suffer a long I don't know some damage from that. But anyway, this is the utility programs that falls under the category of system software. That's pretty much about this section that I want to talk about. Let me see if I want to add in anything. Of course, we talk about the relevance, right? We talk about the relevance of what this software actually helps you on. Relevance, of course, in terms of accounting. These are all necessary point to be highlighted. So basically we want to ensure that our computer is efficient. For accountants, one of the main reason is so that there's no loss of data when we enter inside. If it's efficient, then supposedly all the data should be stored correctly or without any loss of data. We don't have to worry about the security issue if our system software or our utility programs in specific, we have done everything accordingly. Run those run those run those programs, right? Run those programs schedulely or weekly, then we don't have to worry about the hard disk died off, or there's there's one good term over here. Last time we used to have is the back sector, right? When you use the hard disk, that was those days. Nowadays you will not you will rarely hear this kind of term bad sector anymore because you are now using SSD already, solid state drive, where you don't have any disk inside the hardware. So but you can just point that out, just saying that with this, all right, the relevance of understanding this system software is to ensure that the accountants are able to utilize the computer better, to ensure that it is protected, it is well maintained, and of course it is optimized. All right, let us move down over here to the next section of this software. We talk about the system software, right? Now we have this another one, which is the application software, right? Application software over here is actually as you can see over here, the definition, it's a program that designed to help user. All right, this one is a user. All right, I try to draw a user over there. All right, user, what it is designed to help user to perform, all right, or users perform specific tasks or solve problems. Right. This is very cringy. You have the computer, so I'm just trying to put into more detail on this. So basically, application software, unlike the system software run on background. This application software is basically a program. All right, program means any software lah, right? Any applications, all right, that designed to help the users perform specific tasks or solve certain problems. All right. It actually in other word is a thing. All right. It's some kind of tools. All right, it can be classified as a tools. All right, that allows user to write reports, manage budgets, or process data, right, from accounting perspective. Of course, you have a different perspective, then of course the application software for different perspective falls on to different objectives, right? So but for accountants, basically we use it to write reports, manage budgets, process data, maybe project that's the output devices. But over here inside the application software, we have two classification as well. We have the general. Let me just put it over here, general. The general type of application software, and also the enterprise type of application software. Let us move into the general application software first. General application software over here, we can see this is where the section 2 comes in, right? Why this chapter falls under to the section 2? Because we talked about the different uh, different kind of applications, all right, of software, and we use the example of Microsoft Office, Microsoft Office. Alright, we use different we use the example of Microsoft Office to actually illustrate the application software, right? The general application software. These are all self-explanatory, which in fact, by now you should know that there is the application software. We have the word processor. Word processor is basically the software for you to create, edit, and format, all right, what kind of a document that you want, reports that you want, and allows you to print out the reports. So it actually goes back over here. This is the word, let's say printing, you got the word Microsoft Word as example of this word processor. It runs on the operating system, which is the system software, and then when we try to print, it will goes into the device driver, and then the device driver will connect up to the output devices, which is the printer. I hope that makes sense. All right. That is application software, but application software over here allows you to modify or create what type of words document that you want or reports that you want on the software side, right? On the software side. Then we have the spreadsheet over here. I say spreadsheets, right? Spreadsheet basically example of spreadsheet is the Microsoft Excel. We actually moving to the second stage of the Microsoft Excel already. If you follow the tutorial or the lab session, what I would say, we'll continue on the following week, where we move into the third section, where we learn more advanced on the macros. All right, but before that, right, we will learn on the VLOOKUP formula and certain what I would say interesting and useful skills, right, on the Microsoft Excel. And we have the another application software, which is the web browser. The web browser itself is an example of application software. It allows you to connect to the internet, right? That is where we talk about this third section, all right, or the third season of this this subject, all right, this subject. All right, the third section of this subject, we'll look into detail how to set up the website in a very brief idea. And finally, over here we have also another example, which is the database management system. Is actually one of the example of this application software, which we actually go into more detail of this on the next week 6, all right, on the chapter 6 and chapter 7. All right, chapter 7 is actually after your mid-semester break, which is week number 9, right, if I'm correct. So that is our focus. As I said, we will not look into the mechanism or the idea behind this and this. This one is on the third, because these two words and spreadsheet, we will apply it in the lab. Even this one we actually apply in the lab, but the mechanism or the logic behind a database management system, we'll learn it more detail on chapter 6 and 7. But this one Word and spreadsheets where we talk about the budget, financial statements, those are covers in other subject. And then the words over here where you want to write your reports, these are all general things, right? Where you learn it when you learn other courses. So that's it about the general application software. Alright, application software, the general one. These are examples of application software that allows you to actually perform specific tasks or solve specific problems. Alright. Then we have another example over here, another classification on this application software where we call it the enterprise. Enterprise. Let me see how RIS. Or enterprise type of software for this application software. Right? The enterprise one we have. So what is the difference between general and enterprise? General basically covers more on kind of general on individual standalone on really on pretty much day-to-day activities for individual, I would say. Then if you say is it spreadsheet not for enterprise, it is for enterprise, but for this classification purposes we actually classified it for the general, more on individual kind of perspective, but for enterprise it's more on a larger scale, right? The programs that allows you to interact between a bigger scope of user, allows you to interact or integrates between different parties, or allow a collaboration between different departments of a company, because we are looking into accounting related application software. So what I did over here is I break it down into two, the general and the enterprise. An example over here of the enterprise application software is the ERP. All right, the enterprise resource planning. This, all right, and the accounting software. All right, this two software. Oh yeah, over here, for example, over here I also said I forgot to add in the example. We can also say the Power BI actually falls inside here. All right, it falls under the spreadsheet. I tried to spell spreadsheet over here, but it just came out like this. So example here, it might be Power BI. This one and these two will be covered in your second level, all right, when you study on accounting information system. All right, in detail, all right, if you will go deep down if in detail these topics over here. However, just to go through with you what we talk about over here, why is it enterprise kind of application software? Very simple. ERPs is the big, it contains, all right, actually falls back to the database, right? It contains a very what we call an integrated slash, we call it centralized lies database. What is database? We'll come to this one in the next chapter, but in a simple word, it is something, or it's not something, it's a table, right? Table. It's a table that holds the data. Just in a simple layman term, alright, simple layman term, the database is a table that holds the data, and ERP system is a integrated database which actually holds multiples of data in a single database, and a single database can have multiple tables. Very interesting. We'll go into detail in the next chapter, but bear with me. Why is it under enterprise level? Because it is integrated. It has an integrated centralized database, which means all data from different department. All data from different department will be stored. Will be stored inside this database. And ERP is an application software that allows the user to do so. All right. Then we have this CRM, customer customer relationship management. All right, customer relationship management. This is also an example of enterprise type of application software. It allows you to, very simple over here, just to have a good relationship with your customer. The keyword is the relationship, right, with the customer. Then finally we have over here is the accounting software. Accounting software is a mini version of ERP. ERP is the big picture, and accounting software is the sub of it. So what accounting software does over here is basically allows the accountants to perform accounting, the day-to-day data entry. All right, data entry plus reporting. What about this one? This versus this. What is the difference? In ERP, ERP has this and this, and it has everything. Basically, it is not only on the accounting side, all right, where only the data entry on the business transaction happen. It actually also it actually allows the scheduling. Schedule. All right, allows scheduling of materials, maybe human resource management. Okay, these are all which is which falls outside of the accounting functions. So ERP actually covers up a much wider range of activities. Lastly over here, all right, I don't want to go too long. I should break this into 2 videos, but I didn't do it. But we already reached to the final, so don't worry, just bear with me a few minutes. We have the software security, antivirus, performance optimization. All right, over here is the argument. When we talk about the main idea of software inside a computer, we broken it down into 2, which is the system software and the application software. And system software, we have examples, which is the operating system itself. We have the device driver. We have the utility programs. Then when we talk about the application software, we talk about the general application software and the enterprise application software. Now come down over here to the software security, antivirus, and performance optimization. Over here the argument is it this over here falls under system software? Because we talk about utility software, right? Utility software, just now we also talk a bit on the we also talk a bit on this what is it, we talk about the antivirus kind of thing, right? Talk about disk cleanup, task manager. It falls under here, right? So the question here is it why is it there's another subsection that I introduced over here? The answer is very simple. Those are embedded in the system software. Those examples are embedded in the system software. Of course, over here also embedded inside the system software. But since security itself is a major topic, and there is examples of some antivirus which falls out of the system software, means you install them as a separate software on top of the system software to run the optimization, to run the security. So these are classified under that. However, there's actually the part where the firewall comes in. We'll talk about it. Just bear with me. I just want to group them into sections that actually focus on security, antivirus, and performance optimizations. All right. So let us start over here. We have, by the way, this also, all right, everything that talks about the security, talks about threats, talks about the security, right? We also will look this in more detail on your next level. But over here is just a scratching through, all right? We just want to cover up the comprehensively, all right? Not comprehensive, cover up the whole thing in a brief manner, all right? Over here, of course, we have the antivirus, and malware. So the question here is it different? Is it different between antivirus and malware? The answer is not quite, but they are. The anti-malware covers the virus as well, but the antivirus doesn't cover the malware. You can define it like this also. Virus is very simple, right? Those kind of malicious, how do you pronounce this, right? Malicious, all right, malicious malicious software, where this is the malicious software, right? There's another group of software over here, right? This kind of software that will destroy your computer. Antivirus actually helps you to prevent all of this, all right? It actually prevent all of this from attacking your computer, all right? Malware, it focuses on all of this. At the same time, it goes into a wider range where it talk about the spyware, what is it? Let me just check over here. The keylogger, right? These are all examples of the RAM spyware, right? Spyware. got spyware, we got a keyloggers. We are not touching much detail on this, but basically they are one of the few examples that I can thought of in terms of malware. They are malware, right? And ransomware, all right. Next we have this, of course, the firewall. Firewall is also, I would say, what I put over here, right? Let me just see the definition. A firewall is a network security device or software that filters incoming or outgoing traffic based on predetermined rules, acting as a barrier between trusted and untrusted network. Wow. Firewall, for this one there is a software, and then there's a hardware, and then there's cloud-based firewall. Basically they are example of the software security. And lastly over here we have a example of performance optimizing tools. Performance optimizing tools. Over here a good example is the CCleaner. This one is okay lah. This is acceptable. This and this is acceptable, that we can group them under the software security by itself. We actually broken it out from the system software, right? But this one firewall and the, let me just put over here, firewall and this task manager. All right, task manager. These are softwares that is embedded in the system, so they are system software. These are softwares that you install on top of it, application software, but we can classify them as a group of security type of software. And of course these are example for you to just go through. All right, over here the takeaway, we have reached to the end, but let me just put a very brief summary over here. We talk about the software now, right? We have moved down to the software. We break it down to two main ones, which is the system and application. Okay, then in the system we have a printing system, which itself, all right, it's the whole big picture of this. All right, then we have the device driver, and then we have the utility programs. Then we have over here the general, and we have the enterprise. Then we have over here, going down from here, is the security. So this is the, let me just put a different color just for fun. All right, security over here. this is the whole idea of this chapter. Just go through with you the takeaway: system and application software. So system software manage hardware and runs the application. Example: the OS, antivirus, firewall, and utility tools. You can see over here. Actually, it actually, what I would say, it actually falls over to this point over here. Application of software performs a specific task. Example: word processor, spreadsheet, ERP, CRM, and accounting software. Then we got security and optimization. Antivirus protects against the threats. Firewall secure the network. This one actually, when we talk about the network, right? Network will be at your season 3. All right, that's where we go into the internet. That's where all the poison comes in. All right. Optimization tools and enhancement program. Then distinction software, system software maintain the system, application software serve user tasks. This is another thing that I should really point out over here. Is system software maintain the system, application software serve user tasks. Alright. Then accounting relevance: system software ensures security and performance. Application software aids the financial operation and business efficiency. Alright, thank you for your time. I think I should break this into 2 parts, but somehow I merged them all up into one single video lecture. I hope you don't fall asleep. Good night.